Hello goblins and gamers, this week we'll be watching Necrit again, but this time we'll be watching the video that I was supposed to watch last time. It's the video, The World of Riot's MMO is already done. I do think, even though I watched a video that wasn't the one I was intended to watch, I did learn quite a bunch. Now that I've got that under my belt, I feel like it can't hurt. And to kick off 2023, I'm going to watch a video that has probably been the most highly requested. Let's just get right to it. I'm afraid to hit play because I know he talks like super fast and it's going to be a lot to take in. So just like last time, I got my notebook on standby with my pencil, ready to take my nerdy notes. So yeah.
In the past, MMOs were regarded as the godfathers of games. They were the peak of what developers could accomplish.
Really?
Even though, looking back, that's a fairly subjective thing to say.
Yeah, I'd agree it's
Everyone knew
subjective.
MMOs had the power to create cult following. But also, everyone knew making MMOs was hard.
Yeah, I don't really think it has to be an MMO to create a cult following, but I would say there's probably a lot of very popular MMOs that had a cult following at the time. Just any slamming video game.
On average, an MMO has to spend at least 6 years in the baking before it can get anywhere near being good. But that didn't stop companies
Hey, isn't that how long it took Arcane to make? To be made? Yeah? Coincidence?
from jumping onto the bandwagon anyway. And soon we could see dozens of new MMOs, all releasing in 2008.
That was a while
all
ago.
being called the WoW killers. Spoiler
Yeah, I know. I know what you didn't say. None of them could take him down. Well, it's just too powerful.
alert, none of them did that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we can feel the ripple effects even now.
Unfortunately?
It got to a point where every time a new MMO is announced, we all think the same thing. Oh,
I am not sure what this is in relation to. I will do some research to see what this is, because I'm unsure. Also, just coincident timing for this, I guess, because the new Avatar movie came out. So I have not seen it. I don't really want to be honest.
anyway, when you're working on an MMO, you
He's wearing a lot of League merch.
have to respect 3 pillars.
Okay.
Gameplay is king,
Okay, well, gameplay is king. For an MMO pillar, I feel like gameplay should be king. If we're talking about any video game, not just MMO, but I can respect that as a pillar.
social interactions matter, and the world setting is important.
Okay, so these are 3 solid pillars. I'd have to agree with him. I just say the gameplay is king 1 isn't specific enough to MMO. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be, but if you're talking about specifically MMO, what makes that a unique kind of variety of game? It's just kind of, too generic. But then the social interactions one, very, very important for MMO. And then, the world setting also can kind of bleed into any video game. So it's interesting.
When Riot announced their MMO,
All right, what is this here? 2020?
it became
My waifu's clothes.
clear that 2 of the pillars are being respected, and the 3rd one is already done. When it comes to the gameplay, it is
it's his
currently in
title.
the hands of Ghostcrawler, someone who's been working on WoW during its best times, and someone who got a
Oh.
reputation for hating boomkins and loving mages.
Dumbkins? What? This guy's wearing some drip, holy shit.
When it comes to the social interaction,
Oh my god, they're adorable. Oh, I love it so much. Oh, they equally look like they could destroy my day, ruin my day, but also that they look adorable. Like I want to give them a hug and they could hold onto my finger like tiny, so small.
it is a dance
They
between
look
the
like minis.
developers and the players. A dev can guide players towards social interactions,
Okay.
or they can annihilate them. And after that,
I wasn't sure what that was in reference to, but I know they've done that with plenty of video games where players are enjoying something and then they just get rid of it or change it. And it's like, why?
the players usually find their own fun
Look at the tiny person. I mean, tiny people aren't inherently funny. But you know what is funny? Standing on a bar stool. Also, what time is it? It's not even late at night. It's either 3 in the morning or it's 3 in the afternoon. Either way, I don't know if you should be at a bar at that point.
inside the MMO. From that point on, the devs should do everything in their power to support the players having fun in their own way. And finally, when it comes
Yeah, I can agree with that statement. It's interesting, right? Because it's kind of like the death of the author in terms of video game development, because I have a good friend, insert here, that is working on a cute little video game project for themselves for Elden Ring, and I think there's an argument to be had about if you are the game designer or you're the author of something and you want the audience to have a specific experience, that's completely fair and valid. I don't know if it's fair to say that they have to do everything in their power to make that come to life. I think their vision's also important, but then again, once it's out of your hands, it's no longer really up to you in a way. But then again, like, should they keep doing everything in their power? I don't know. It's a delicate balance, so.
To the world of an MMO, in Riot's case, it's done. And it's been finished for quite a few years now.
It's done.
In fact, the world of Riot's MMO is in such a
Oh,
good
wow,
state.
he made a
They
3D
already
model.
have the continents, the zones, the cultures, and the races. And to a lesser degree, every zone already has its own
I wonder if this
storyline.
is available
Now,
for
of
people.
course, unless
use.
you follow the lore of
That place just looks evil.
League of Legends, you wouldn't know about
Oh,
this.
it's Noxus.
And that's why I decided to make this video. I want to show you all the zones we are going to see in the MMO and what sorts of quests we are going to do there.
Okay,
So,
solid.
for the purpose of this video, I will assume you have no idea what League of Legends is about.
Yes. Oops, I have to bleep that out. Absolutely yes. This is exactly what I needed. I mean, I know some stuff, so maybe going into this with a slight edge, which will help me, because I might as well know nothing. But I see now why this is the video I'm supposed to start with. So let me get my little notebook handy. Wait. Okay, my notebook is ready.
You have no idea what the universe is about, but you like MMOs, your hairline is receding, and
What? Whoa, I'll have you know my hairline is doing quite fine, actually. It's quite long. I can do like the whole mermaid thing, where I can cover my boobs with just my hair. But, you know, I guess I'm not a mermaid, sadly. But I'm really into fantasy. Fantasy realms and fantasy stuff, so that's why I'm here. Don't play MMOs, really? Don't have a receding hairline, so I hope the third one applies to me?
you have a crippling fear of Nintendo 64 controllers.
Okay, maybe that one. Alright, so I'm in the right place.
To which, I might add, why do you think I'm wearing hats? But now, without further ado, let's have a look at all the zones in Riot's MMO.
Okay, ready. My pencil's ready.
This is Runeterra, the world of League of Legends.
Hello.
Right now, the world is separated into 10 main regions. But these 10 regions don't cover all the land on the map, so there are some mini-zones in between them.
Okay.
And the lore already revealed that there is gonna be another continent further to the east.
Oh no, I better get my pants and buckle on because this is more than what I already thought.
Buckle up back there, we're going into hyperactive.
That definitely sounds like a future expansion to me. In fact, it would be foolish to release all of these regions at launch. You can easily turn half of these into separate expansions. And because a lot of people already know and love.
Wait a second. I notice a name on this map that I'm not too familiar with. What is that? What are you? Ixtal? Excuse me? Rude. I've been watching League content now for a minute. For a minute. Not as long as most people, but just for a minute. I don't know you. Please introduce yourself.
Love these regions, the hype behind these expansions would be big. With that said, I know a lot of you would like to play as Shurimans or Ionians. And now you may be cursing me for suggesting that these would be expansions. But the lore can justify giving you.
What are you? Ooh, that is a cool creature thing. They could just be pulling a Jogacha, Jabate, you know, just their head's not actually all the way up there. It's just a costume.
These nations as playable races without having their regions. I'll show you how Riot can pull this off in a bit.
Okay.
First, let's talk about the regions Riot's MMO has to start with.
Okay.
The Northern Continent. This entire continent is called Valorant.
Oh, right. Note number 1. Northern Continent is named Valorant. Oop. I'll draw a little picture. I know I drew a picture last time, but that's okay. Doesn't hurt to draw multiple pictures, you know? Really burn it into the brain. Wait, we go.
Not Valorant, Valorant.
Valorant.
And this is where the absolute core of this world is.
Oh.
The two
Why it's in the north? I'm just kidding.
main regions here are Demacia and Noxus. They are the
Well, that two main regions. Why you ignore Freljord?
two big rivals equivalent to the Horde and the Alliance.
Oh,
While
cool.
I would like to say that Demacia is your classic normie human region, it's not really true. Runeterra doesn't really have a normal place. There is something cool happening in every
Yeah,
region.
that's why it's
And
so special.
Demacia has racism.
Oh, okay, I was not expecting that. Alright, this is new to me. Continue.
Okay, maybe not racism, because Demacia doesn't mind Yordles or Minotaurs, but they really
Yordles.
hate mages. That's because
Oh, I don't know if that's... Is that racism? I don't know if that word means discrimination.
in the past, their rivals almost annihilated half
I guess, do you guys consider mages a race? I guess it's important for me to know.
of the world using magic. And so, Demacia was built inside a magic-absorbing forest. Therefore,
A magic-absorbing forest? Hold up. I think that's important to know, too. Demacia was built in a magic-absorbing forest. This is a cool 3D model, by the way. He said he made this. It's pretty cool.
Therefore, Demacia is a really cool place where you can hide from magic. When it comes to the
Interesting.
visuals of the zone, you can see a lot of lush fields, it is surrounded by mountains, but the iconic
Random thought, but I wonder how they're... I just think in Runeterra, from my experience so far, magic and religion has been tied quite closely together. So I wonder how their perception of religion and their ideas and ideals around that changed based off of their distrust in magic. So if you know, or maybe he'll answer, but if he does not, let me know.
part of Demacia are the buildings. They
Yeah,
are made of
those are
petricite, which is a
cool.
combination of stone and the magic
Hey, his video's lagging, not mine, this time. I know my video tends to lag because of my GPU. But this time it's his recording, I promise.
absorbing wood. Because these ancient magic absorbing trees were grey, all the buildings have a marble-like appearance. And yes, given what material they are using, all the buildings in Demacia also absorb magic.
Interesting. That's a lot of that material. You could sell that material worldwide if you wanted to. I feel like a lot of people, like lots and lots and lots of people, would have many usages. Can I say the word? Can I say it? Many usages for magic absorbing stuff. Especially, I think, in terms of oppression, like keeping like jail systems and stuff like that. Think in very negative ways.
Visit this region, let's just say it's gonna be a painful experience.
Oh.
On top of this, let's not forget that Demacians can weaponize petricite. They can turn it into petricite steel, which gives you your classic anti-magic weapons, and you can sculpt petricite constructs which wake up after absorbing magic.
Is this what Galio? I will never be able to get that right first time. Is this what he's made out of?
Simply said, these guys just really don't like magic.
Got it.
The irony is, they've been absorbing it for years now. And this is where the story would kick in.
Oh.
You see, the Demacians are so afraid of magic, they founded the Mage Seeker Order. This is an order of people who hunt mages, they throw them into prison, and they torture them until their body gives up on magic.
That's a little weird. Until their body gives up on magic. That mage is afflicted with tremendous magic. Okay. That doesn't really make quite sense, but there's probably details in that. So let me take notes of this. 3. Demacia founded Mage Seeker Order. Hunted mages. Okay.
They torture them until their body gives up on magic. So yes, being a mage is a crime in Demacia. The thing is, people still get naturally born with magical abilities. You can't stop it from happening. So not only are there mages hiding in the royal court.
This guy looks really angry. Very, very angry. It's just like, hey, how dare you be born this way?
Can't stop it from happening. So not only are there mages hiding in the royal court, right now they're...
Well, see, like, if they're intelligent, which it seems like they are because they have a very highly civilized society, wouldn't they understand that people are naturally born with magic and then have a system in place for it? I mean, maybe they do, and that's why the mages are hiding. But I feel like they probably have something for that, right? Like, you could give your child up. I don't know, that sounds so f***ed up, but like, I guess a mother wouldn't tend to do that. I don't know. Sounds slightly oppressive in a very sophisticated way.
There is a mage civil war happening in Demacia, where mages and people who don't hate mages rise up to fight for moral rights.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening. I mean, all it takes is like one mother to be like, hey, that's my baby, just because there's magic, don't take away. And then, you know, enough people. Yeah, makes sense. Good good storytelling often follows good common sense threads.
So should we do some quests in this zone? This is gonna be the core story. Mages trying to overthrow racist leadership following old laws. So the main enemy NPCs might be mages and witches.
Okay.
But I know what you're thinking now. And don't worry.
I'm thinking about a grilled cheese, to be honest. I'm really fucking hungry, but yeah, sure. What am I thinking about?
There will be plenty of boars to kill here too. Or at least there are loads of wolves here.
I don't like two-headed wolves, you know. Oh my god, look at the adorable little nugget down there.
As well as stags. And we can't forget the iconic Demacian raptors. But further
Whoa.
to the
That looks like something Elias would draw. I'm gonna insert a few. Like he loves drawing dragons. If you like dragon stuff, you should go follow him. I'll nudge you to that. He's really shy and doesn't like me promoting his stuff, but he's good. I promise he's good. Go follow him.
But further to the south, we might find some crag beasts, tiny woolly elephants, and
What?
yes, of course in the Argent Mountains
That one looked like it just finished taking the poo. You see that like smear? Look like it pooing.
there are also dragons. Loads and loads of dragons.
Who doesn't like some dragons? Let me look at them dragons some more.
There are also dragons.
Okay, yeah, I thought I saw that. Those claws, that hand, that looks messed up. That, like, how do you land without, that look like that hurt a little bit.
Loads and loads of
You have a massive neck brace, my dude. What do you do to your neck? I know it's not a neck brace. But yeah, that's a massive neck. Big neck. You know what they say about big necks? That you probably need a bigger shirt. I don't know.
dragons. But that's about it for Demacia.
Ooh, I love this little sketch. Jeez, are each one of these houses that little nicks? Damn.
Fun fact, the capital city of Demacia is called the Great City of Demacia.
Oh wait, maybe I should take another note. I missed it. A little late on this note, but mages versus Demacia old discriminatory laws. So mages versus poopy heads, pretty much. You know, that's my note. It's very sophisticated.
Sounds dumb, but Runeterra was not the first one to come up with this. But thankfully the other regions are a bit more creative with their name.
Listen, honestly, I'm pretty dumb, and I really appreciate just straightforward name. Like, you see that name? Like, the name, almost all of the names, actually, to the left. I will not remember those names. They're not real sounds in my head. Panera, Linus, why did I put an N? There's no N! Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just the great city. Easy. I know those words. Those are real places. That's a real word. So, don't worry about it. I appreciate it.
So now, let's move away from the Normie region
Okay.
and let's have a look
Hey, Normie region? Come on, man. There's dragons there. How's that Normie?
at the Badass region.
Hey, sometimes you can be too edgy and it can be cringe. So let's see. Let's see if it's like edgy in a good way.
If you're planning on playing a warrior with oversized weapons and
know that.
overcompensating lush hair, this is the region for you. This place actually has a long and badass history, but we really don't have the time to explain it now.
But that's why I'm here.
So just know that originally it was built by the most badass warrior in the history of Runeterra. This motherfucker literally
Hey, I can appreciate him bleeping it out because YouTube just changed their policy and cursing now is, well, good luck having a YouTube job. Alright, so note 5. Noxus was built by, I think that's Mordekaiser, right? Mordekaiser.
died on a mountain of corpses. And
Oh.
after he died,
That's not metal. That's sad.
he was too angry to stay dead, so he
I'm sorry. What? It sounds like a meme. You know what I mean? Okay. You got me on that one.
just became the god of the underworld. When this guy lived, he built the Immortal Bastion, which is to this day the largest structure on the entirety of Runeterra.
Okay, so then note 6, Mordekaiser built the Immortal Bastion. And then we'll do note 6.5, Immortal Bastion equal big, super big, many big. All right, continuing on.
To this day, the largest structure on the entirety of Runeterra. And currently, he is banning
Currently, sorry, I didn't mean to make fun. But I said currently. I can't say anything.
Vanished underneath the Immortal Bastion, but only a few people know about it. So, you know, that's a future raid boss. Anyway, the Immortal Bastion is the capital city of the Noxian Empire, with Noxus being one of the most brutal nations in Runeterra. It is brutal because the nation is surrounded by rocky earth. It is hard to grow plants here, so Noxians
Okay, 7. Noxus, land, bumpy, so equals no plants. Sad face.
are forced into conquering surrounding land for resources to survive.
Oh, that's important to know. Okay, that's why they are meanies. See, I didn't have their perspective before. I didn't know.
That's why when you go to the map, you can notice that the Noxian territory is all over the place. It's because these are all the places Noxus has already conquered. Although, when I say it like that, you may imagine Noxus brutally raiding everything. But that's not true. They like to absorb the surrounding nations
She's hot. Okay, continue.
into their empire. After all, it's just more human resources. Most of the time, they only remove the royalty and they let the leaderless people join their empire.
Yeah, see, I actually have some familiarity with this. Familiarity with this. I watched that. Wow, I don't even know what cinematic that was anymore. Damn, that was a while ago. They came in, they took out the big stinky king, and then the little girl was trying to stand up for her big stinky king, and big stinky king was super stinky, and then they ended up giving her a spot. So, yeah, I'm kind of familiar with Noxus. Like, Noxus isn't that bad, but they're bad, but like, not that bad.
And that's because Noxus values strength above all.
Yeah.
And rulers?
This is the video. This is the thing I just talked about. Look right there. That guy, he's the big stinky king. He's the stinky king, and then that's the girl that tried to help. See, I'm not that crazy. I'm not that crazy.
Tend to not be good fighters. This is what you can see in the After Victory cinematic. They killed the king because he was weak and let everyone else join them. Fun fact,
He wasn't also just weak. He was a poo-poo head, man. Like, big stinker doo-doo. Like, you know, just come on, man.
conquering nations is so iconic for Noxus, they have their own saying. Kill them until they are family.
Okay, I was not expecting that to be the last bit of that saying there. Because, you know, killing them normally implies that they're dead, meaning that they can't become more. So the fact that it says until they're family, it's like, ooh, interesting. I like it though. I get it. I get what it's trying to say.
So when it comes to the quests in Noxus, it is most likely going to be helping the Empire expand its territory.
Okay.
Although this region
Ooh, this motherfucker is also pretty attractive. You know, I should have listened to more about what this guy has said before I said that, because I probably just said like a serial killer is nice looking.
has its own unique enemies too. Inside the Immortal Bastion, there is a cult known as the Black Rose. This cult is
Okay. 8. In the Immortal Bastion is Black Rose. Okay?
connected to the darkest of magics. So
Dark
be ready.
magic. And then under that, dark. Wait, hold up. 8.5 Black Rose equal darkest magic. Okay.
To fight hemomancers, witches, demons, and the Grey Legion.
I just took in a lot of scary stuff, so hold up.
Hemomancers, witches,
Okay.
demons,
Okay. That looks fine.
and the Grey Legion,
I like the guy in the back.
which is an army of soldiers revived with blood magic to fight for the Empire again. And when it comes to collecting
You know, we're not gonna question morals.
10 bear asses, here we have the native Drakehounds and Basilisks. Now, while Noxus and Demacia are the main rivals here, both of them are also constantly repelling raids from the north. So now,
Okay, why are exactly Demacia and Noxus not vibing with each other? Maybe it's just my grilled cheeseless stomach messing with my head, but Demacia doesn't like magic. Noxus just needs land, but it seems like Noxus has got enough land at this point, and they're not like bothering each other. It don't seem like. Do they just want to fight because they don't have the same ideals? Like, is Demacia trying to spread out and anti-magic everything? Well, you know, I could see if Noxus is raising demons and doing blood magic. That maybe morally Demacia is like, hey, maybe we should step in here and you know, I know it's not our business, but like, mm, that ain't cool. So maybe that's why. I don't know. Can't get into it. All right, we'll move on to the Freljord. Let's go.
Let's have a look at the Freljord.
Freljord. My bad.
Just like pretty much any region on Runeterra, Freljord has a lot.
By the way, I'm gonna say that wrong constantly. Forgive me. Like, what is that? Null, jaggy, jeeg. It has 2 dots. I don't know what that means, and there's 2 of the same ones right next to each other. Null, jag. What if it makes like a secret sound? Null, jeeg. Yeah, that's what I think it is.
Long history. But for the purpose of this video, just know that the maddening old gods known as the Watchers of the Void.
I'm not tired. I just need my grilled cheese. This guy, the Watchers of the Void. I know that stuff. This specific one has a name though.
Just know that the maddening old gods
The maddening. Oh god. Wait a second. Did he spell Freljord wrong in the bottom here?
known as the Watchers of the Void, who want to devour the entire reality only because it keeps waking them up.
Hey, quick note from editor Silly here. Ignore my fan, it's trying to commit seppuku. But imagine if I didn't accidentally watch that video prior. That one explained pretty thoroughly the idea of the Watchers and the Void. If I just heard this sentence, I feel like if anybody did, to be honest, but if most people hear the sentence, the Watchers want to devour the entire reality because it keeps waking them up. Now, I didn't react to that when I watched this video because I have a decent understanding of what that means. Out of context, dude, what does that, what? Like, come again? So, just know. If you haven't seen that video, you should check it out. It's an older one of his, but it gets into the lore, like the super lore of the Watchers and stuff. Okay, that's all.
Once tried to breach into reality here. They almost succeeded because they tricked the Ice Witch Lysandra into helping them. Fortunately, she realized how wrong she was, and she managed to freeze half of the kingdom with the Watchers still beneath them.
I missed that last time. I didn't realize half the kingdom was also frozen with the Watchers. That's a lot more ice than I previously thought.
So these days, the Ice Witch is the only person holding back the end of reality by keeping the Watchers frozen.
Okay, I feel like that's an important note. The Ice Witch in Freljord, Freljord, fuck, whatever. The Ice Witch is only thing keeping the Watcher in the ice.
So at some point in the future, you bet one of these woken up frozen Watchers is gonna be a raid boss. Now, when it comes to the NPC,
The raid boss in League. Oh, guys, if a Watcher showed up in like season 5 of Arcane, that'd be crazy.
this is where things get diverse. First of all, remember that the Freljord is brutally cruel.
Brutally cruel just because of its temp? What is that? What is that? Hold up, okay. So at first I was like, oh, that's a cool creature. But then I noticed how tiny the person was next to them. And I realized what I was looking at was a lot scarier. And you know why it's a lot scarier? Because it's not just a creature. It's a creature that's that large, that's wearing a massive, absolutely insanely massive metal harness / brace. How was that constructed? Don't know. Probably some magic or some powerful being. But are they holding rope to the thing? Like, what are you holding exactly? Knives? Maybe knives. I don't know. Just those are goofy large. Goofy large. Too big. Like, they could swallow you. They won't even notice.
Everything is frozen, and survival is everything.
Gotcha.
So the first enemy here would be the wildlife.
Okay, so note 10. Freljord is cold. So cold that scary. Yes, that's good note. I'll remember exactly what that means.
From Rhymefangs to Yetis to Druvasks to Elnuks to Mammoths to the worst of them all, Boros.
Get your toes off of that cute little fluffer. Adorable. I would buy this. Suckers like me. I tend not to buy much merch for things. The things I'll buy are either hoodies or cute, small, fluffy things. And like that every time. It'll get me every time. That's why I have a cat. It's fluffy and small.
Next, we are going to fight the Freljordians themselves. There are 3 main tribes here. The Avarosans, who are quite peaceful.
Okay, we gotta make note. There's Freljordians, I cannot say, but it's fine. 3 tribes. Okay, so what are my notes gonna look like? We'll draw arrows, right? What did he say?
There are 3 main tribes here. The Avarosans, who are
Don't know how to spell that. That's alright. Avarosans. And they're peaceful. So we'll draw like a little happy face or something. Little peace sign. Little hippie. Little like hippie peace sign.
are quite peaceful. The Winter's Claw, who
Okay. The Winter's Claw.
are quite brutal.
Okay. Whoa. Hold up. Let me take that note before I process what is on my screen. Oh, we'll put a sad face with maybe like a fist. Like they're punching us, you know? Okay. This here. Right here. I would clip. I'll probably go try to find where this is from. If anybody knows where from. Actually, I probably got JV Skelly to help me out there because, man, he sent everything my way. But this is a stunning piece of art. I don't know why I find this specifically so profound, but I do. I like how they look like hammerhead sharks or something. I don't know. I like it. I don't know. Commentary, 10 out of 10. I like it. Moving on. What are they called? I'm sorry. I was floored by the aesthetics of this upcoming image.
And the Frost Guard.
The Frost Guard. Okay. Well, yeah. Stunning. Stunning, stunning.
Lysandra's followers who hold back the Watchers.
Okay, well, they're probably mostly good then. We'll give them a thumbs up. Not a peace sign, but we'll give them a thumbs up. Because if they're stopping all of humanity from being eaten, then I feel like they deserve a thumbs up. Yeah.
And let me tell you, these guys have some badass armor.
Oh,
Among the
hell
notable
yeah.
tribes, there are also the Ursine, which are shamans who worship the Volibear, the
Volibear.
primal god of the wild,
He made one of them blind, right?
who slowly turns his worshippers into twisted animalistic monstrosities.
Whoa.
Speaking of which,
Wait, did it have
worshippers
multiple
into
mouths?
twisted animalistic
It did. Oh, okay.
monstrosities. Speaking of which, yes, there are also the primal
He's so stout and cute. So cute.
gods of Freljord. And finally, we need to talk
Whoa, that's some cool art. It's like the classic breaking. I feel like I've seen this in many mediums, but it's cool nonetheless.
Iceborne. When the Watchers tried to arrive here, they tainted the ice around them. This special ice is called the True Ice. And it is so dangerous, you literally die if you touch it.
Oh, that's right. Someone told me that. I'll write that down too. I remembered it, but gotta remember it again. True ice equal mega cold equal insta death. Insta death. I'll draw like a little guy poking it. I don't know.
However, the Watchers also tainted some people, giving them the ability to touch the ice. It is still extremely painful for them to hold a true ice weapon, but at least they can survive it. These people are known as the Iceborne. But people were not the only things that were tainted. There are also ice trolls, some
Whoa.
of whom are also Iceborne. To be honest, these guys were made to have their own dungeon. But there are also some animals that were twisted by the Watchers. And
Whoa, what was that? What was that?
dungeon.
Whoa. Excuse me. Beautiful leg muscles, but also, what are you? Does it have eyes? It's just a beam? Wait, look, little baby. No, so sad. Such interesting opportunities for art that Riot allows their artists to have. You know, this isn't. It makes me hopeful for artists to be able to do really creative works.
And Lysandra is even twisting some beings herself to make them serve her. So overall, Freljord is gonna have a lot of cool warriors, shamans, and horrors.
What
so
was
these
that?
would be the three horrors.
He slipped in the cuties. He slipped them in trying to say horrors. They're not horrors. They are like the pet version from Club Penguin. But for adults.
3 regions on the main continent. But this place is actually so big it can easily make the base world of the game. Especially since there are a bunch of smaller regions in between them. There is Nokmerge full of witches, Argent Mountains with their dragons, Tokugol with void monsters, Dalamore Plains with him.
To be honest, I'm not writing this down because adorable. I'm not writing this down just because too much. I'm trying to focus on like the big picture right now, and then I'll go in deeper throughout time and learn this stuff. But it's cute.
And so much more. But from here, you can cleverly set up the expansions because of how well everything is interconnected. So
Okay.
now, let's have a look at the continent to the east
Yay!
called Ionia.
Yeah.
Ionia has a very close
By the way, why is Ionia everything all vowels except for one letter? That doesn't seem right.
connection to Noxus. You can only guess why. It's because Noxians once tried to conquer it all during an event simply called the Invasion of Ionia.
Oh, that's a good name. Easy to remember. Alright, let's write that down. The invasion of Ionia. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't really know what I'll write next to that. I'll just draw. I'll draw it in song.
This was a horrible war full of using children as soldiers because Noxians thought Ionians wouldn't fight back against children. And
Oh.
chemical weapons.
Noxus did, or?
Lots and lots of chemical weapons. Speaking of which, remember Singed from Arcane?
Yeah.
He's the guy who chemically devastated Ionia.
Well, okay. That's a lot to take in. Alright, so underneath note 13, we'll do note 13.5 for the invasion of Ionia. We'll do kids, and we'll draw them with little weapons. Kids were fighters, and then we'll draw some gas, and then we'll draw, death, I guess. Lots of death from gas, deadly gas. Yeah, that's effed up, man. Alright. And then we'll also add the gas is made by singed. The morals here are a little sketchy.
Eventually, Noxus failed, but they kept their small controlled territories. So the first
Okay, see, I noticed that initially that they didn't light up when Ionia lit up, like all the way back here, right here.
Ionia has a very close connection to Noxus.
You see those three little pieces didn't light up. I was like, maybe just the map didn't, but I should have said something. I thought maybe it's just they didn't click it all, but they do everything with great detail and purposefulness. It just doesn't goofy me.
He's the guy who chemically devastated Ionia.
Singed, we have some things to talk about.
Eventually, Noxus failed, but they kept their small controlled territories. So the first quest here could be simply boarding a ship, sailing
This ship reminds me of one of the ships from the Avatar Last Airbender.
over, and exploring the place for the Noxian Empire. Now, when it comes to Ionia itself, the place gets mystical. Everything here is alive and connected to the spirit of nature. And I mean everything, from the animals to the people to the buildings.
Oh.
Everything is alive. So if you anger Mother Nature, your house can twist and strangle you in your sleep.
Can you imagine, like, you stub your toe or something, like, real bad, walking, and then you, like, kick, I don't know, you kick your chair or something, but because it's alive, you technically kicked the living thing and it just wasn't having it, so your house strangles you. Your family comes home to find you dead, and it's all because you stubbed your toe. And sorry, that was
So you
goofy.
can only imagine how Mother Nature fought against Noxians. Usually a river came alive to drown them.
Oh,
That's why all the
alright.
buildings here
Came Alive is an interesting broad net of words to cast over ideas. Come alive, like conscious? Question mark? And then, I just would love to know how like the religion and the souls and stuff work a little bit more in this world, because it feels like it should stay true from continent to continent, but it doesn't sometimes.
look like they were woven from wood. It's because they were. With nature
Where?
magic, people let nature build their houses. It also means that sometimes your house can just
Yes.
walk away. When it comes to the NPCs here, obviously
What a Chad way to pull up. Oh my gosh.
there is gonna be a lot of nature spirits. And a
Yes.
lot more of simply mystical animals. From giant flying tigers to the never-ending story.
Hey, that is the never-ending story. I loved that as a kid. Going back and watching, you're like, wow, I thought the graphics were a lot better than they were, but I like that aspect of it. The puppeteering of it. It's nice. It's nice. Nostalgic. Also, that hand looks like it has hella arthritis.
But be ready to also face local Ionians, blade masters, shadow cultists,
Okay.
murderers,
Excuse me. It's, an art? You wouldn't get it.
and ninjas. Both good, bad, and the in-between.
He had a big chin. Hold up.
First,
He reminds me of someone. I just can't put my finger on it. I was just watching the Spider-Man movie. Maybe it's him? Goblin? I don't know.
and the in-between. But finally, there is also one more enemy that we could face. The furries.
I haven't been taking notes. Oh, I forgot. Let me write down. I'm gonna ignore the part that he just said furries and take notes about the stuff he just said. Everything equal alive. Ugh.
That's right. This race is known as the Vastaya. They are
Vastaya.
half humans and half magical animals.
Okay.
And yes, canonically, the
Oh, a
species
hiccup.
was born in exactly the way you are thinking. But to be fair, the Vastaya are
Oh, wait. Oh, man. Oh, I don't want to write that down. Aw. Someone made a bad choice. Aw. They're cool, but why do you have to say that? What are they called?
That's right. This race is known as the Vastaya.
Oof. The Vastaya.
They are half humans and half magical animals.
Oh, I remember that from last time. It was like the Vastanasana. I'm sorry. He said I hold up. I got this.
First, it was Yordles, animals, and the Vastaya Shirei who...
A thing that was like, it didn't sound like a real word.
And yes, canonically, the species was born in exactly the way you are thinking.
Come on.
But to be fair, the Vastaya are quite cool and they are definitely gonna be a playable race.
Yeah, they're cool. It's just like ignore the way just don't look back. Shh, just be quiet about it.
Just like Yordles, who also like Ionia a lot. Lastly,
Yordles.
after Noxians ravaged Mother Nature, demons started occupying all the places filled with misery and doubt. So that's gonna be a nice bonus enemy.
Okay. Demons spawned where Noxians hurt the nature. Got it.
Started occupying all the places filled with misery and doubt. So that's gonna be a nice bonus
I guess there's a demon in my room because I got a lot of that.
enemy. So yes, the exploration of Ionia and the raid on the Shadow Order could be a really cool first expansion. But it's definitely not Riot's only option, because we can also go south to Piltover and Zaun. These are the
Of
ones
course.
people will know about, simply
Yeah.
because this is where Arcane took place. Piltover and Zaun
Also, quick note. Thank you for being so welcoming into the community. It's been so fun. Wow, this art is neat. This is... I like it.
are two massive cities located one above the other. And they are so massive they could easily be turned into their own playable zones. They are both focusing on
Hey.
futuristic technology,
We've got some gems up there, a little mini tank. Cool. So detailed.
powered up by magic,
Oh, there's like a little figurine up there. Does anybody know who that is? I feel like it could be a little hint at something for super fans. I don't know.
of the Hextech gemstones. Using this magic, they can power up anything from guns to augmented
Hey.
limbs to
Whoa.
vehicles. Visually, it is simply futuristic Victorian era. And unfortunately, there wouldn't be much of enemy variety. We would likely fight the rich houses of Piltover and their deadly assassins, with the occasional thief on the streets, corrupt wardens, and the occasional rogue steam golem.
For the upper class? Yeah, I guess. I mean, but then you also have Victor. I don't know if he falls in upper class, though.
But things get a bit more interesting in the Undercity
Yeah.
known as Zaun. Zaun is the
Yes,
dirty
yes, yes.
underbelly covered
Dirty. It's flavorful.
in thick toxic smoke. Because the majority of people are poor here, they developed a cheaper alternative to Hextech called Chemtech. This artificial
Yeah,
green
yeah.
stuff can power up cheaper limb
Bro, that one's going into your brain. Haven't seen that before. Okay.
replacements, as well as highly unstable weaponry. Zaun is also controlled by the Cam Barons, which are obviously gonna be the main enemy here. But on the side, we may also meet some chemical mutants, unstable constructs,
Yes, this one is my new favorite. I've been asked a lot who's my favorite. Sorry, this one takes it.
as well as some mass murderers and people who hunt down mass murderers. And funnily enough,
Interesting.
at the very very bottom of Zaun itself, there are the hidden ruins of an ancient city.
Whoa. Okay, that's important to note because that might come into play in Arcane. Number 17. Bottom of Zaun are ruins, ruins of ancient city.
Full of traps. That
Full of
is
traps.
obviously gonna be a cool dungeon. So yes, there is not much more that I can add here. Piltover and Zaun
Hey, that's a symbol. Darn, I recognize where that symbol's from, but I don't at the same time. Like, it's familiar, but not familiar enough for me to name it.
were simply explored in Arcane. So if you like the series, you
It's Warwick.
are gonna like this place. From here, we can travel further south to
Hey,
Shurima.
Shurima.
Shurima used to be a massive empire that ruled the world. But after the emperor got betrayed by his best friend, the
Oh, I didn't know it was his best friend. That adds some context. I thought some guy was jealous and like pushed him out of the way.
entire empire collapsed. This region is a massive desert with the occasional city near a river. In the center of the region, there is the Sun Disk, a colossal
Sun
piece of
Disk.
star metal that has the power to reflect celestial magic. The Shurimans
Star
use
metal.
this celestial magic to turn their best soldiers into the Ascended.
See, like, normally I would be taking notes for this, but I kind of got most of this down in my knowledge bank from last time, so I think I'm okay.
Also known as the Golden God Warriors. However, these God Warriors wouldn't make a great enemy here. That's because after the Emperor had died, the Ascended started fighting for leadership. And slowly, after learning how to use blood magic to gain the edge,
See, I'm really glad I actually watched that other video, because it kind of entailed what all of this is, and, you know, he's putting it together quickly here, and I have the context, guys. I have the context. I know what he's saying.
they morphed their own bodies and became the Darkin. Twisted, blood-frenzied monsters that would
Yeah.
certainly make really cool raid bosses. Besides this ancient evil, Shurima is also full of its own animals, raiders, dune scavengers, and on top of all of that, void creatures. That's because
Yep.
to the south, there used to be a kingdom known as Icathia that wanted to destroy the Shuriman Empire. So
Hey, to be fair, they had good reason, or it seems like they had good reason.
they asked the Watchers for help. You can imagine how that went. The Watchers sent through some void beasts that consumed Icathia and polluted Shurima to this day. To fight back the void, Shurima does have a lot of hidden tombs around with hidden god warrior weapons. Not to mention that Shurima also has a circle of time mages who are trying to freeze the void in time.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Okay. Time mages trying to freeze the void in time. Interesting. That looks like the same person twice. Using time magic, perhaps, to study faster.
Now, as I mentioned near the beginning of the video, even if Shurima becomes an expansion, they can still easily make Shurimans a playable race because they are already connected to Noxus. As you can see, of course, Noxians already conquered part of Shurima. So some Shurimans are fighting for Noxus.
Okay.
Also, as a cool fact for
There's a chicken! There's several chickens! Oh my gosh.
those of you who liked Arcane, Hex Crystals are harvested in Shurima. That's why a
Oh.
Shuriman expansion would be a great follow-up to Piltover and Zaun.
Interesting.
And again, that's why Riot can easily turn only the northern continent into the base world. Anyway, going west from Shurima, we arrive at Mount Targon. This place is incredibly unique.
I know this place.
First of all, this mountain is not natural. It was literally pulled up from the ground by celestial gods.
I know this. Guys, I know this. Tiny clap for me. Okay, we continue.
And that's because this place serves as a portal to the celestial realm, also known as Targon Prime. Now,
Okay,
because
I did not remember that. Okay. Mount Targon equal portal to Celestial Prime.
mountain was pulled up, it also has some unique features. For example, you may find frozen lakes frozen horizontally on the mountain. And the very peak of the mountain is special too. Should a mortal reach the peak despite the brutal climate and the deadly wildlife, either they die from exhaustion,
Oh, what was at the top of the mountain?
or the celestial gods deem them worthy and they become an ascended aspect.
Gotcha.
There is aspect of
I thought they sent people up on purpose, like certain people to go up on purpose.
war, aspect of the sun, aspect of the moon, aspect of the twilight, aspect of the guardian. and so on. Simply
okay.
said, after people reach the peak, they become some of the strongest beings on the entire planet. So of course,
Maybe he's gonna say this, but I guess maybe this is not known by Noxus. I feel like Noxus especially want to know this out of all places, to come try to conquer the mountain or the land around the mountain so they can use this to their advantage. But then I guess they wouldn't be deemed worthy. But then again, they also wouldn't know that unless they tried. And then maybe Demacia would have some concern over the magic of this mountain. I don't know if would that count as magic to them or something else because it's celestial beings.
the mountain is full of people who worship the celestial demigods.
Yeah.
And I speculate this is where we could get a lot of cool armor sets. There are the Solari, who are devoted to the aspect of the sun. Then there are their rivals, the Lunari, who are devoted
like
to
their
the
eyes.
aspect of the moon. But also, the tribe, I assume, will be...
Whoa, your cape. What? What, brother? That is not how a cape works. That's cool. It's like a green screen cape.
a playable class, the Warriors of Rakor.
How does your cape
Of course,
work, sir?
besides just
And why is there a big sphere ball over there? What going on?
humans, Targon also has all sorts of furry vastaya. Near the
Cute.
bottom of the mountain, you may notice
Is it living thing? Excuse me?
that the mountain is alive. But also there are stellarcorns, a variety of mind-bending
Whoa.
creatures, and loads of dragons. Speaking of which, remember
Just
that this
casually.
place is linked to the celestial realm. So
Yes,
this
yes.
is where we may also meet the star-forging celestial dragon Aurelian Soul.
Yay!
As well as
Apparently he's a big meanie.
all sorts of other celestial
Hey, you ate the teddy bear. I don't like you. You ate Teddy.
beings. A lot of these would make for interesting bosses. In fact, the ascension of Mount Targon would be a really cool raid. Next, on the other side of Shurima, there is Ixtal.
Yeah, this one I'm not familiar with at all. Alright.
This is a special place where people are mastering the elemental magic. They are using it for
Okay, Ixtal equals elemental magic.
everything. Fishing, smithing, walking, and
What? Hold up. That's not elemental. What are we talking about?
they are using it for everything.
Oh,
Fishing,
okay.
smithing,
Gotcha.
walking, and this place is
I see.
definitely gonna be saved for an expansion. Basically, remember when Icathian asked the Watchers for help?
Yeah.
And then that happened?
Yeah.
Ixtal was their neighbor, and after they saw the void
These look like very nice. Very nice. I like their outfits. Very nice. Imagine getting dressed in the morning. Damn, that must take forever.
devour an entire kingdom, they believed the void would soon devour the entire world. So, using their elemental magic,
That is a big floating gem. Ah.
Ixtal built massive walls of plants around their entire region,
Okay.
isolating themselves from the rest of the world.
Why does plants isolate you? You could just go through them.
For 3,500 years, Ixtal stayed isolated, believing that the
Okay, so Ixtal planted plants to stay alone for 3,500 years.
world outside of their walls was devoured by the void. But
Oh, they thought that was devoured? So they just did nothing? Okay. Thought everything. They thought world was consumed.
now, very recently, some mages found out that the world outside is completely fine. So now, the Ixtali mages are
Well,
slowly revealing
relatively.
themselves. To be honest, Ixtal is the most underdeveloped region in Runeterra.
Okay, fair enough.
We know the region has a lot of hunting vastaya, deadly plants, and some elemental dragons. But most
Interesting.
of the region is still a mystery to us. So
Okay, that's fine. I love having, more new things to look forward to. That probably explains why I haven't heard much about it.
at least here, Riot will have the freedom to try something new.
It's also always good to have a spot within your writing to not lay your problems down, but if a problem were to unfold within your writing and you notice that maybe something you didn't think about catches up with you and is pointed out, and you need a spot to work through that strategically and problem solve in hindsight, to have a little area that you can do that in that hasn't been touched yet. And not saying that that is what that is, but it's a good thing to have as a writer in your back pocket.
We leave the main continent to visit the last two regions.
Okay.
First of all, there is Bilgewater. If you
Yay.
like pirate adventures, this is gonna be your place. This
Whoa.
is where we are going to explore inns and gambling dens, even some local temples worshipping the god of motion, Nagake Boros.
The god
Here
of
we are going to
motion.
fight pirates and sea monsters, sea witches, sea Vastaya, maybe some demons.
Okay.
And possibly we'll side with Sarah Fortune to fight the king of the pirates, Gangplank. But there's a lot
Gangplank.
more.
What? I'm not writing. Oh, ugh. Okay, I'm not gonna write that stuff down. That's too much. I'll just take it for what it is.
Or here. Last year, Riot released their RPG, which was set in Bilgewater. So not only can we already explore this place in detail,
Oh, neat.
but it even has a monster journal. And at a quick glance, you can already see some really cool bosses too. However, this place is
He's very excited about the bosses. I'm just here cause I want a grilled cheese.
also linked to the last place I want to show you today, the Shadow Isles.
Yes.
See, every year, the horrors of the Shadow
I know he's touching on it briefly, but I would like to know like why they're how they're impacted by the rest of the world in regards to Noxus, because right, Noxus wants land and all that. Just have they truly been not bothered by anything?
Isles lurk out. And Bilgewater just happens to be the closest place.
Okay.
So every year, Bilgewater is fighting the undead.
Oh.
Once upon a time, the Shadow Isles used to be the Blessed Isles, a rich place full
Yeah.
of advanced magic. Long story short, there
I'll write that down, even though I vaguely remember it. Shadow Isles was draw like a little equals and then like an arrow to the past. Blessed Isles. Oh, he looks sad.
was a young asshole king who wanted
Did he say the A word?
to revive his dead queen. And in the process, he accidentally released dark necromantic magic.
Oh,
This magic
nice.
destroyed the island and made it home for undead. In the lore, this event is
Oh, he still seems happy though while this is happening. Oh, he really loves her.
called the Ruination. And because the RPG is called The Ruined King, it may not be a surprise to you that you also get to explore the Shadow Isles there.
Boggers. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm gonna be playing this game, so if you're around, it'll be played 2023 this year.
And there they have anything you can imagine. Undead horrors creeping.
Oh, damn, that's scary. For me, I get more scared of existential stuff rather than anything else. So stuff that messes with your soul infinitely, forever? Nah, that's the worst kind of thing for me. Ooh, give me the shiver.
Everywhere. And should we ever venture into these islands, I have no idea whom we're going to fight. The ruined king who caused all of this is banished elsewhere.
Oh.
Thresh, who siphoned his magic after he was banished, also left the Isles.
Oh,
And even Hecarim, the
he
most
did?
brutal soldier of them all, is currently around Demacia.
I think that's kind of funny, his armor, the hip pocket being a skull. It's cool, but a little silly. But cool, but a little silly. Oh, just tiny. I don't know.
So the Shadow
Oh, his chest is also a skull too. He's like, I'm going to make the edgiest, scariest armor.
the most brutal soldier of them all, is currently around Demacia. So the Shadow Isles don't
See, like, I find this here, whatever I'm looking at here, 10 times more frightening than this here. I don't know if that's just me, but there's something about it, man. When you don't fully understand it, it just gets, it has a way of just getting the horror element a little bit up.
currently have a main baddie. So this is where, right,
I could be its main baddie.
forward some of the side characters. Now, even though these have all been the regions that are currently set up on Runeterra, Riot has already confirmed that there is a new continent further to the east. Currently, it is planned to be revealed in the upcoming Ruination novel.
Okay.
And so far, we know that this new continent is where the ruined King Viego is from. And this is also where he was banished at the end of his story. All we know about that place is that it is quite
I'm just gonna take this with a grain of salt for now and focus mainly on the other places.
mystical. There are yet more dragons
What?
here, and in fact, Kamavor, which
Whoa.
is the Ruined King's nation, has a lot of draconic armor. So should Riot run out of places to explore, don't worry, they can always make up more. But that's all I wanted to show you today.
Alright, so that seemed like that was everything. Alright, so I got all my little notes here, and in summary, if I were to write one big note, Runeterra is... I think I'd go with the word filled. Or maybe Runeterra is filled with potential. It's just filled. There's so much going on there. I think the beauty about the world they've built is they have so much at each layer. they have so many opportunities at each layer for storytelling. They have storytelling opportunities at a broader, more onion layer skin. But then each layer you go in, you get closer and closer. And then what I think they done brilliantly in Arcane, and I know it's not a one-to-one, but they have the opportunity to go, or they did with Annie. I think Annie is a good example. You can make a really grounded story focusing on like one character or, you know, just a village and ground that in character. And then you can also have these fantastical, larger than life stories with dragons and you know, void creatures and mystical beings and celestials and things we can't quite as much relate to. And I love that aspect of Runeterra, the fact that these layers, you have at the core such a strong foundation to build off of, and then everything else is able to stand. And they do both pretty well. And that'll be all for this week. I hope you guys stick around. I will definitely be looking into that game. See you later, jelly beans. Thanks for watching. Bye.